Okay, let's create collectible item system with autosave and autoload. Here is example. So we have coins in a level, we can pick them up, and when we pick them up, our UI widget shows how many we have. Now 4, 5, 6, 7. And also this widget shows us preparing to save or saved. So when we saved, we can stop the game and restart, and our progress is saved. So we have our 7 coins collected, and only these coins remain in the level. So we can collect them all and wait for the save. Here we go. Let's stop. And when we restart, we have our 14 coins and nothing in the level. So let's recreate this together. I'm going to delete all of this. And this. And I will auto process default player mannequin. And let's test it out. All right. Now let's create collectible coin. Create blueprint. Actor. And let's call it BP, my coin. My coin. Open it up and add mesh. And let's add coin mesh. Now let's compile and save and put it in a level. Now when player overlaps with coin should disappear, right? So let's do that. Open coin blueprint, open viewport, and let's add collision box. Collision. Box collision. Let's name it collision. And let's scale its borders to fit coin. Like this. This and this. Good enough. So when player overlaps this collision box, coin should disappear from the level. To do that, we open event graph and let's drag from actor begin overlap. Let's print string. Oops. Coin. And let's also add actor end overlap. Just to keep track of it. Alright, let's also adjust our box collision to overlap only with player pawn. Go to collision and change preset to custom. And let's ignore everything except pawn. We're gonna overlap pawn and ignore everything else. Compile and save, and let's test it out. Here we go. In the top left corner, we see begin overlap, end overlap, begin overlap, end overlap. Great. Now let's hide it on begin overlap. So let's drag our static mesh, our coin mesh, and drag from it set visibility and set it to false. New visibility false, unchecked. And let's test it out. Here you go, it works. Now we still get events in the top left corner. we should disable them too. So let's do that. We drag box collision and set collision enabled to no collision. Compile and save. Now our coin disappears and we don't get events anymore. Great. Now let's add more coins to the level. Just hold Alt and drag to duplicate. And like this. Now let's add rotation to coins. And we go to tick and we get a default scene root and add rotation, relative rotation. And every tick we will add one rotation in Z. Let's test it out. Okay, now they rotate. Now let's add some random initial rotation, so coins would look different. So on begin play, we will get our scene root and set rotation, set relative rotation, to be random. Now let's get random float in range, and from 0 to 360 degrees, and connect it here. Okay, let's move it up a bit. Let's test it out. Great, now they rotate. And also we need to add sound when we pick them up. Let's do that. Add audio component. Select sound. I'll just use camera shutter. It's default sound from engine. And we will play it on overlap. Let's drag it in. Play. And also let's deactivate it by default. So auto activate false. Otherwise it will play immediately. Okay, compile and save. Test it out. Great. So coins are ready. Now we need to add save and load system and UI widgets. Let's do that. First, let's create save game blueprint. Right click, blueprint, save game. This one. Select BP. My save game. Let's open it up. So here we need to add variables for data we want to save. So what do we want to save? Amount of coins we collected and which coins from the level we collected. So let's do that. Variable, create new, amount of coins collected. Let's make it integer. Array of coins already collected. And let's change type to BP, my coin. And let's set it to array. We can right click here or we can select it here from single to array. Compile and save. So this BP my coin is this one, BP my coin. Same we just created and same we put in the level. That's it. We're done here. Let's close it. So to save game, we need to create save game object from this blueprint. So this blueprint is not object itself, it's just a description of object. We need to create actual object. So let's use game state to create actual save game object, to fill it with data, to save and to load. So right click, blueprint, and search for game state base. Game state base. Select BP my game state. Now our game state won't be active by default, so to activate it we go to edit, project settings, maps and modes, and in this game state class we select my game state we just created. Close it, and now it will be active. So let's open it up. Go to event graph, and on begin play, let's create a save game object. Create save game object, and let's select our save game, my save game. This one we just created, my save game. Now let's save it into variable. My save game object reference. Compile and save. And now we need to fill this save game object with data. So we need to fill it with amount of already collected coins and with coins from the level. So let's do it like this. When coin is collected, it will send signal to our game state. I've been collected. And then game state will save that coin into save object, and after that it can save game to device, to file, right? Let's do that. So let's create custom event, add custom event in our game state, coin collected. We will call this event from our coins. So let's just print string for now. Game state coin collected. Compile, save, and let's call it from my coin. So after we're done with visibility, collisions and sound, we will get game state, now let's cast it to our particular blueprint, cast to my game state. And now let's call our event, coin collected. Compile and save. So we call event in game state from my coin. Let's test it out. In top left corner we see game state coin collected. Great. So it's working. Now we also need reference to each coin we collect to put them in array. So let's select our coin collected event in game state and add input. Name it coin reference, and change type to my coin. Compile and save. And in my coin we now can send coin reference when it's collected. So let's get self, get the reference to self, and connect it here, coin reference. Compile and save. And now we can add this coin reference to array of collected coins. So in our save game we have array of already collected coins, and we will put that reference here. let's do that. Get our save game object, get our array, and add this coin reference. Coin reference. So now, whenever coin is collected, its reference will be added to array. And also we need to increase amount of coins collected. So let's do that. Again, we get save game object, get amount of coins collected. Let's search for plus operator add. So this is, let's add 1 and set amount of coins collected. So we set amount of coins collected to itself plus 1. So if its value was 0, it will be 1. If it was 1, it will be 2, and so on. Compile and save. Now we added data to our save game object, but we still need to save it to disk, to file. So let's do that. Let's create another event. Custom event. Save game. And here we get our save game object. And save game to slot. Now slot name is file name that's going to be created on device. So it can't be empty. We need to name it somehow. We can write it here, or we can go to my save game and add another variable. We call it save file name and change type to string. Compile and save and set default file name here to my first save game. Compile and save again, and in game state we can get it from our save game object, save file name, and connect it here. Now to make sure it's saved, let's get return value and print string. So let's disconnect that and connect return value to this text. So if save game was successful, it will say true. If it was not successful, it will say false. Let's try it out. No, before trying it out, we have to call this save game event. In here, save game. Call function save game. Here we go. So now when coin is collected, we save its data to our save game object, and then we save that object to device. Let's test it out. We can see true in the top left corner. It means save game to device was successful. And you can actually go to your project folder, saved, save game, and you will see your save file here. My first save game, and call it my first save game. It's the same thing. Great, let's save all for now. Now let's load game from that file we just created. So we go to game state and create new event, custom event, load game, and we load game from slot, load game from slot. and we need to specify slot name. So we get our game object reference and get save file name from there and connect it here. Compile and save. Now let's cast it to my save game. And now we set data from save file into our save game object. Set my save game object and connect it like this. So when player starts game, we create empty save game object and save it here. And since we just started game, we haven't picked up anything, so it's empty. And we load game from file and then put that data from file into our empty save game object. And now it has previous state of the game. Compile and save. Now with that data, we can update state of the game and hide coins we already collected in previous game. And also we will update UI widget with amount of coins we collected later. So we have array of coins already collected in our save file. Let's get it. Array of coins already collected. And now we should hide all coins from this array, from the level, right? So to do that, let's go to bpMyCoin. And basically we need to do same thing. Set visibility to false and set collision enabled to no collision. Let's create another event, custom event. And like, let's do it here. Custom event. Let's call it hide already collected coins on game load. Very descriptive. So let's copy paste this. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and connect coin hide already collected coins on game load. So now on game load we will call this event for every coin in array. Compile and save. And let's do for each loop. Connect it. And from array element we will call event we just created. Hide already collected coins on game load. Loop body. So each coin in array will do this thing now. We'll print string and set visibility to false and set collisions to disabled, to no collision. Great. Now we still need to call load game from somewhere. Let's call it manually for now. Let's go to our character and add input, say key. Let's look for key. Here it is. On key press, we will get game state, cast it to our my game state, and we will call load game. Load game. Compile and save. And let's test it out. So now when we pick up coin, it's saved to device, another one, another one. So now there only should be 2 coins remain in the level when we load game. Let's stop the game, start again. Now I'm gonna press key button, K, and here we go. We only have 2 coins in level, so loading works. So let's try it again. I will stop game, start again, and collect all coins except one. Only this one should remain. So this is saved to device now. I'll stop the game, start again, and now I will load game. I'm pressing K now. Here we go, it works. Great. Let's save. Now let's load game automatically when we start playing. We go to game state and we'll have to call load game whenever game starts. So let's go to begin play and let's add sequence. So first gonna be create save game. Oops. And then we will call load game. Load game. Let's try it out. Here we go. Game loaded automatically. Now for debugging purposes, let's add a reset button so we can have all our coins back. So we go to game state and add reset event, reset game. So add custom event, reset game. And so on game reset, let's make our save game object empty. Get array of all collected coins and let's clear it. Clear it. And also let's set amount of coins collected to 0. Set amount of coins collected 0. And also we need to make all coins visible. So let's do that. Add new custom event in my coin. Add custom event and call it show all coins on reset. And let's set visibility and collision to defaults. New visibility true, collision query only, and that's it. And now we call that event from my game state. So before we clear array, let's call show all coins on reset on each item in that array. For each let's move it right here and connect it. Now we call show all coins on reset. Okay, inside loop body. And after we're done with loop body, on completed, we clear that array. So when reset game event is called, we get all already collected coins and make them visible. And then we reset all data to default. Now let's call this reset game event manually. Go to third person character and let's add L button event, for example. And again, let's cast to my game state. And call reset game. Compile and save. Let's try it out. So I'm pressing L, and here we go. We have all our coins back. Now we can collect coin. Game is saved. Let's restart it. And here we go. Save game works. Let's reset game again. By the way, if you stand in spot of collected item and press reset key, it will cause infinite loop and crash the game. So don't do that. Or you can fix it somehow. So try to fix it maybe. I'm not gonna do that because I'm lazy. Let's continue. Let's save for now. Quick optimization tip before we move forward. So when we pick up items, we see true. So game saved to device. And it happens every time we pick up item. And this is kind of expensive, especially on older devices, or if we have like 100 coins in a game and we collect them immediately. So like this, save to device. This is kind of not cool. So let's limit rate of how often we can save to device. To do that, we go to game state, find our save game event. Here it is. And let's add timer by event. Set timer by event. Move it away. So when save game is called, we will set timer for 5 seconds, for example. And when those 5 seconds have passed, then we can actually save game to device. Let's add custom event. Custom event. Actually save game to device. So we will call this event, and then we will actually save game to device. And let's print string. Called save game, wait 5 seconds. So what happens when we, for example, collect 5 coins quickly? So when we collect a coin and we have save game event, it will start timer. And while the timer is running, if another coin is collected, it will reset timer to initial 5 seconds. And if we pick up several coins, it will be reset several times to 5 seconds. And only after we stop picking up coins, timer will run out, and then the actual save game to device will happen. And we will save game to device. Well, let's test it out. I am resetting coins. Now pick up, called save game, wait 4 seconds. Now we should see true. So let's pick up several coins quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. We picked up several coins, but saved game to device only once. This is a good optimization technique. Now let's create UI with amount of coins we collected and with notification of save game. So let's start by creating UI widget, user widget, W amount of collected coins. Open it up. Add canvas. Now let's add border and text and call this and set text to collected coins. And let's put it here to the right side of the screen. Select border, set anchor to this one, reset positions, set size to content. Let's adjust alignment. Set brush color to black and transparency to 0.5. And let's move it up a bit. So position X minus 50, position Y minus 50 also. Okay. Now let's duplicate it. Right click, duplicate, and let's set text to 0. This is going to be amount of coins. And let's adjust position. Minus 50. And that's okay for now. So let's make this text variable. We'll call it amount of coins collected text. Oops, amount of coins collected text. And check is variable, so we can access it from Blueprint. Compile and save. Now let's add it to viewport. Go to game state, and on begin play, create widget, and select our new widget, amount of coins collected. Amount of coins collected. And let's move things up a bit. Now let's add another pin and connect our create widget. And let's add this widget to viewport. To viewport. And let's test it out. Here we go. We have collected coins on the right side of the screen. Now we need to update them. So we need to add this amount of coins collected to the widget. So first let's save reference to the widget like this. Promote to variable and UI collected coins widget reference. Let's set it up. Oops. Okay. Compile and save. Now when player collects coin, we need to update this widget with a new amount of coins. So we go to coin collected and we can update it here, but first let's create a new custom event. Add custom event and we'll call it UI update amount of collected coins. And in here we will get our widget and look for our variable amount of coins collected text. Amount of coins collected text. And set text to current amount of coins collected in our save game file. So let's get our save game object reference and get amount of coins collected and connect it here. Okay. Compile and save. And let's call this event from coin collected. Let's go after save game. UI update amount of collected coins. Let's test it out. Compile and save. I will reset coins and let's pick one up, and you can see on the right side of the screen our widget shows us currently collected coins. So when we load game, we also need to update UI widget with amount of coins from save file. So let's do that. Go to load game and call our update UI event. UI update amount of coins. Right here. UI update amount of coins. So when game is loaded, it's done everything it needs to be done, and then it updates UI. Compile and save. And test it out. And it's not working for some reason. Why is it? Accessed none, trying to read property UI collected coins widget reference. Let's click on it. Right. So what happens is we are trying to update our UI widget right here during game load. But at this point, we don't have this widget created and added to the screen. So we cannot update it yet in here. So let's just swap these things around. First, disconnect everything, and then first we will create widget, and second we will load game, and then we'll try it out like this. Compile and save, and here we go. On game load we have 2 coins in our UI widget. Let's try it again. 3, 4, 5, and let's restart and play. Oh, right, so I didn't wait 5 seconds until we actually saved game to device. So that's working too. Let's do it again. 3, 4, 5, and wait for 5 seconds. True. Now we can restart. Play. Here we go. 5 coins. Great. Oh, right. And also let's update UI when we reset coins. So right now, when I reset coins, UI is unaffected. Let's fix that. So we go to game state and find our reset event, reset game. And let's call update UI in here. Update UI. UI, update amount of collected coins. Let's try it out. Now I'm gonna reset. L, here we go. UI is updated. Great. Now let's create save notification UI. Oh, right click, user interface, widget blueprint, user widget. W, save notification. Open it up and let's add canvas. Now let's add border to that canvas and text. So we'll have 2 notifications preparing to save during 5-second delay, right? During this delay we will have preparing to save, and after actual save we will have game saved. So first one is preparing to save. Let's change text. Preparing to save. Let's go to border, size to content, and change anchors to bottom right corner. Reset positions. Adjust alignment. And let's move it up a little bit. 50, minus 50. And let's change brush color to black and transparency to 0.5. Now let's duplicate it and change text to game saved. Game saved. And also move it to minus 50, minus 50. Here we go. And let's hide both these borders by default. Search for visible, visibility hidden to 1 and visibility hidden. Now let's make these borders variables so we can access them from blueprint. We'll call it preparing to save container and set it as a variable. And another one is game saved and set it as variable. And compile and save. So now we go to game state and let's add this widget to viewport in here. So this is our coin widget, and let's add our save game widget. Create widget. And select our save notification. Here it is. And then we create a variable with reference to it. UI save notification widget reference. And let's add it to viewport. Okay. So now during save game, we will show these notifications. So we go to our save game event, and so let's create separate events for this. We'll call it we'll add custom event, UI, preparing to save, and also let's add custom event is UI game saved. So in preparing to save, we will show our preparing to save notification. Let's get it here. Let's see what it's called. Preparing to save container. Okay. Preparing to save container. And set it visible. Set visibility to visible. And in UI game saved, we will get our game saved variable. Game saved, well, let's call game saved container for consistency. Container. So this one is preparing to save container, and this is game saved container. Compile save and get this game saved container and set visibility to visible. And also let's hide it after few seconds. So let's add delay, like set it 2 seconds, and copy paste it, and make it hidden. So save game notification will disappear by itself after 2 seconds. Let's compile, save. Now let's call these events from our save game. So we go to save game, and during timer we will call UI preparing to save, and when actual save game to device happens, we will call UI game saved. Here it is. Compile and save, and let's test it out. I reset my game, then I collect coin, and we see preparing to save game. So when game is saved, we need to hide this preparing to save game widget text. Let's do that. Go to game state, to our event, and in here, when game is saved, we need to hide this text, preparing to save container. So let's hide it. Like this, copy paste, and set visibility to hidden here. So now when game is saved, we hide preparing to save container, and then we're showing game saved container. And I guess during preparing to save, we also need to hide this game saved container, right? So let's do that. Right here. Let's hide it. So during preparation to save, we hide game saved container, and we show preparing to save container. Okay, let's test it out. So I will reset coins. Let's collect one, and we have preparing to save game. Let's wait, and game saved now. Let's collect another one, and another one, and another one. We have preparing to save game, and game saved. And now we can stop game and restart. And we have our 4 coins in UI widget, and only these coins remain in level. So everything is working. We created collectible system with autosave and autoload, which is pretty cool. Good job.